But then the beautiful side of it is that helping people with your knowledge or your passion actually pays way more than a job ever can. And that's the beauty of it as well. So because every single business model works. There's millionaires in every area. But what really matters is actually the work that you put in. Money needs to come in. And basically, if you do this process of reverse engineering, if you want money to come in, obviously there needs to be value.
Hello everybody, welcome to Mindset Simplified, and this show is going to introduce you to those mindset experts and most successful people from all over the world who will share their experience of most challenging situations in their journey and how they managed to overcome, so that you don't need to do the same mistakes again and rather focus on your growth to make way for the highest level of success in your life much faster. And bear in mind, this show has no script. Every word we spoke here is going to be directly heart to heart. And today's guest is an amazing individual and an always smiling princess. She is known as an exceptional educator who makes everything so easy. She helps entrepreneurs launching and scaling their businesses. She is a 2 Comma Club winner, international speaker, author, and CEO and co-founder of Freedom Lifestyle Creators, where she makes her students to launch business in 5 days. She uses rapid learning and also speed implementation techniques to students to get such fast results. She gave up her PhD in astrophysics to help people tap their true potential and succeed in life. Her mission is to do whatever good it takes. I love this statement. Help me to welcome Tjibaria Pijloo from United Kingdom. Hi Tjibaria, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction and for having me on your show. It's a real honor to be here because I know how influential your show is and how much impact it makes on people. So it's a true honor to be here today.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Tjibaria. And this question is always going to be in my mind. And even like PhD, astrophysics, and coming out of that and getting into this. What was the mindset or the thought process behind in making such a shift?
So basically, it's funny because I had been doing a lot of education, obviously, in like going to university and then getting my different degrees and then going on to a PhD, like always been in the scientific direction, and my parents have always supported me, and I was learning so many different things, and I was even also traveling the world with that stuff and sharing my research and stuff like that. But I don't know if you or anyone who will be watching this can relate to this, but I just had this feeling that I couldn't see myself do that for the rest of my life, because obviously there was a few different outcomes. I could either, become a professor or, keep on doing research or stuff like that. But I just felt like I couldn't see myself do that for the rest of my life. And there was this other thing, which is also something that I was so blessed to get from my upbringing, is that my parents always set such an example to help people and to do good and to give to charity and to make an impact. And it has always been our dream to make impact on a larger scale. And I was also like looking at the two things, saying like, okay, so right now this is research that I'm doing. Am I able to make a big impact with that? And I was like, not the impact that we would love to make. So I kind of was, browsing around on the internet, looking at YouTube videos and all that type of stuff. And it very fast became clear to me that if you want to make a good, sustainable impact, that, money will help, and that, you better get good at the money game. I'm not saying that in order to be able to do good, you need money, because just, the mere fact of giving someone a smile already is doing good. But if you want to make sustainable change, such as what we wanted to do is to provide education to people that don't have it, or to, to do something for children in Indonesia, where I'm from, that requires money. And so I basically said to myself, I want to get good at making money. So that's where I started to get an interest for entrepreneurship and all that type of stuff. And then at some point, I met my mentor, which at the time I never heard of before. I was like, oh, this guy is so inspirational, and he was helping people, and he had his own charity, and I was like, wow, I want to learn from this person. And when he presented an opportunity to learn from him on one of his courses, I was literally sitting there thinking that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Either I do it now or I'll never do it. And it was at that moment that I thought like, okay, I want to do this. I want to jump into this. And in order to jump into that, I had to stop what I was doing. So I had a chat with my parents, and they have always been so supportive. So also with this, they were very supportive. They supported me with money, with everything that I could possibly need. And I quit my PhD and started an entrepreneurial journey.
Wow, I mean, the journey itself is so inspirational. But, one thing, what I want to ask you is, pretty much whenever, you are into the online business right now, right? Coming from such an established everything paper kind of a PhD to an online business, people kind of consider that to be a scam. Oh my God, online business. I mean, I used to think as well, but considering online business as a scam, what made you to believe in that, journey to jump from there to here?
Yeah, I think one very big thing is just having an open mind. And again, I want to give all credit to my parents for always having taught us to have an open mind and to not put things in a box, like how people say like, oh, that type of people, they are in that box, and those type of people are in that box, and you always think like, oh, you better show me first and then I'll believe it. Like that type of skepticism, even though skepticism is very natural to being a scientist, because scientists are always skeptic. I wasn't like that actually at all. I'm more entrepreneurial and open mind. So whenever I then heard of different people having results, like for instance Tai Lopez, I was following on social media, I was like, no, I believe in it. Even though some people say like, oh no, this is a scam, it's not real. Like he was showcasing actual results, and more importantly, he was sharing how many people he has helped, and you could see all the testimonials and all that type of stuff. So I really felt like, yes, this is real. And then of course there's people taking advantage of that industry, really scamming, but that's with everything. It doesn't matter in which industry you look or in whatever thing you look. There's always people trying to do the bad side of things, but to get results, to make money, to make impact, those are actual real things. And I think what really allowed me to think like, yes, this is real, and I want to learn this from this particular mentor, which is Master Krishna, at that time, which actually, funny enough, is exactly 5 years and 1 day ago that I met him for the very first time. That's yeah.
5 years.
Thank you. Thank you. It's like a anniversary, mentor anniversary. But like, I think it was more so the feeling. And I think for anyone who will be watching this, who also has a dream to create a better life for themselves, whether that is a life where there is more abundance in the form of finances, or abundance in the form of happiness or health, whatever it is that you wish to pursue, if that means something to you, then that matters. A lot of the time people basically, throw their feelings under the rug, thinking, no, I have these responsibilities, or this is like the way how society sees me, or how my peers see me, so I should do this. But if you have a feeling that you can do more, or you have a bigger purpose, or you can help or achieve many more things, and to do good with those things, then you shouldn't ignore those feelings. That's actually true. And there is a way, as long as you believe in it, and you are able to find amazing mentors like Rajesh. So everybody keep on following Rajesh's shows, him on social media, his programs. He is an absolute legend. He inspires me every single day. And like, if you see people like that, then you know that you can basically tap into that energy, and you feel inspired as well. And whatever skepticism that used to come up saying like, oh, that's not real, it actually fades away, and you allow it to make place for optimism, and to see opportunities, and to actually feel the energy of the creativity and the positivity. And especially the moment that you do something and you can see the impact that it has on another person, that gives so much like happiness that you feel like, yeah, it's worth it. And I think that is as well like what you feel with your show, because you can see how many people are impacted by it. That people may think like, oh, why are you running a show? Like, shouldn't you do this or that? But it's like, no, this helps so many people. That's giving the biggest gratification, or the biggest reward for the efforts that you put out. But then the beautiful side of it is that helping people with your knowledge or your passion actually pays way more than a job ever can. And that's the beauty of it as well. So aside from the fact that it's just so beautiful and happy and purposeful, it also is a extremely good moneymaker, more than any job could, ever deliver.
Wow. I mean, I was getting goosebumps when you said, right? Yes. See, I mean, if that is the case, actually, the first time I met you is almost like kind of it is getting to be 1 year. I don't know if you remember. It was in Bangalore.
Uh-huh.
But
I remember.
The journey, especially in the online side, on the failure side, not finding the right mentor or not finding even the right business. So what happens is that is one of the reasons there are so many scammers out there. At the same time, that is one of the reasons why people are not trusting, right? That equation is very dangerous. For me, I'm so glad because for me, only because I met you and Master Sri Krishna, I could get into a position where I was impacting people. It's more than 300,000 people so far, I believe, on Facebook, and it's because of you. It's because I got the right mentor. So my question is there any formula in really getting to the right mentor and then at least having the journey started? Is there any pitfalls that people can avoid getting into the online businesses?
Yeah, so I say the first formula for sure for anybody watching this is keep on following Rajesh. He's amazing. He's the right mentor. He does everything from the heart and does things in an impactful way where you can actually not just get the right energy and the right vibes, but also the right actionable steps. Then that's definitely number one. So guys, make sure to write this down, comment below wherever this video is placed. That's step number one for sure. Then step number two really would be is that yes, a mentor helps. Like it shortcuts your success tremendously. But at the end of the day, it's also, or especially you, who have to do the work. So whomever is watching this thinking like, okay, I don't know yet which business I want to do, which field I want to go in, which type of mentor I'm looking for. Basically, it doesn't matter which area you go into, it doesn't matter which business model you choose, whether you want to do trading or whether you want to become a coach or whether you want to create your agency for helping people with marketing or whatever business. Maybe you want to have a more traditional, like your own restaurant or whatever it may be, right? So it actually doesn't matter because every single business model works. There's millionaires in every area. But what really matters is actually the work that you put in. So to make a very simple step number two, aside from following Rajesh and following his footsteps, is to take action every single day, evolve yourself every single day, do things that are meaningful to people. Because a lot of the time people think like, oh yes, business, like this is like one of the like limiting beliefs around business, or maybe even the scam thoughts around business as well. So people think people in business are just there to make money. And of course, money is a big part of it. And it's like the money is good, right? If you know how to do it, if you learn from the right mentors. But the bigger thing why people go into business is because they have this urge to help people and to help and make a difference. And that's also the core of entrepreneurship. Core of entrepreneurship is serving people. So if you already start from the foundation where you look to yourself and say, how can I serve people? And you do a little bit of that every single day, that will naturally grow you into the right direction to find whatever you see that people take value from you the most. And it also naturally puts you on the path to meet the right people that can eventually put you in connection with the right peer group or the right mentors and stuff like that. And you may be thinking like, okay, how do I add value? How do I help people every single day? Well, the simplest thing that you can do is make a video and post it on your social channels, or make a post or share a story, or take people behind the scenes with your phone and just say something, maybe even the tip of the day, right? Say something that could make a difference or can put a smile on someone's face. And that's the biggest thing, because if you do that every single day, naturally you will see what is it that you feel more passionate about, so that you can keep on doing it and you feel fulfilled. What are people grateful for? Because maybe you talk about relationship advice, for instance, right? You give some tips. People come to you and say, oh, thank you so much. It helped me in my relationship with my husband or whatever, right? They come back to you and you feel like, oh, that's so amazing. Maybe I can do more of this. And it will lead you to connect with people that then say, oh, wait a second, you should follow this person. That person also does something like you. And then maybe you think like, oh, wow, that could be my mentor, right? So it naturally puts you in the right direction. But the core, whatever business you choose, everything works, but the core is always people. So if you help people from the start, that's, in my opinion, the best foundation for it all.
Wow. I mean, I think this is really, really very, very critical. What you're saying is even the having right mindset on why they want to actually have, be it the freedom or, being an entrepreneur is the key. Have the right intentions, naturally you will be led to the right people for whatever they are looking for, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It will attract that.
This is brilliant, actually. This is definitely brilliant. And how can you make somebody to actually launch business in 5 days? I mean, it sounds really crazy. How does that happen?
So I don't know, like one of the things that I feel very proud to say is that I'm a nerd. And like we have this thing around, taking pride of being a nerd, and nerd not in the traditional sense of, a person who's super, super smart, wearing glasses or something like that. Like, it's like the traditional image in films and stuff like that. But more like being a nerd is that you like to do something, like to be curious and to figure things out and to get, results in it, and also to take your responsibility to help people. So that's like how we define nerd. But basically, it's just that I always have this kind of, eagerness for finding a way how to simplify things. So whenever I was learning business, and I learned certain methods from my mentor, Master Akashna, but also other mentors that came along, and different programs that I attended and invested in, I kept seeing certain patterns of ways of how people were doing things. And then I always like to kind of draw it out and find, like, what is the simplest way of how you can do this, so that we could explain it at the time to our team to get faster results. But then it became such a well-oiled system that Master Akashna said to me, like, oh, why don't you teach this to our students? Because, you've trained our team to get funnels are the online business things that we use to be able to, get automation in. And you've taught our team to do it so fast. I think a lot of our students, business students, can benefit from this also. I was like, yeah, that's true. Let's just do that. And then we kind of said, okay, let's plan in an event. We took 5 days. So, okay, we planned out 5 days. And within those 5 days, you just teach them whatever you teach our team and get them to get results. We're like, okay, cool, let's do it. So that's that kind of like how the event Launch Your Business in 5 Days came to be about. And it's obviously very ambitious. Like, a lot of people think you're crazy to think that you can launch an online business, like even semi-automated online within only 5 days. But that's because most people look at business from a very difficult point of view, like, oh yeah, business, like it's difficult. But like, we don't ever like to look at things difficult. We just look at what is the core. The core is helping people. Okay, cool. So what is it that you as an individual feel that you stand for? What are your core values? That becomes your brand. Then from the brand, what are the simplest things, like the minimal things that you need in order to get your business out there, which are then 3 points, which is the landing pages, so the funnels that we spoke about, being able to communicate with your audience, which is then the emails, and then the third thing is traffic, for instance, Facebook marketing. And then we were like, okay, cool. So actually these 3 things we need, let's just have a day to build each of these things. So the first one is setting up your brand. Then the second one is to build the landing page. And the third one is to set up the emails. Then the fourth one is to launch your Facebook ads. And then the 5th day, we have to, finalize everything and to maybe test and tweak. And then boom, your business is out there. And then we ran it with our first group and it worked. Then we had many more people signing up from all over the world, flying into our headquarters at the time, going through the process, where there was old people, whether it was young people, whether it was people that love their computer, like nerdies, or people that completely hate their computer. We were able to take people through the process no matter what their background was. So we actually saw like, oh wow, this works. And then from then we took it online and were able to serve a lot more people with it as well. So this is kind of like the backstory of it.
This is amazing. Now I'm actually understanding how you became a participant in one of the Master Shri Akarshna's program, become a partner, a business partner, in in Freedom Lifestyle Creators, right? And this gives me a very important point that one, you have passion, two, you have that hard work to put in creating that your passion into the reality, into a product, into a something tangible, so that people can actually take benefit out of it. But Master Shriya Krishna and you, I've been seeing that you're really talking a lot about how the future holds for online business even before COVID. Even before COVID, I've seen you talking about the whole world is moving towards online. Be there in the social media. Make sure to start the online business. How did you even think about it at that time that online is really becoming very important?
Yeah. So part of it was just obviously what we were noticing in our businesses and the different things that we learned from our mentors, as well as the different people that we work with. We were very blessed to work with a lot of people that are super, super successful, whether it's millionaires or billionaires and stuff like that. So really be able to get an insight into working with them to see like what their view was on things as well. So it just became very clear that obviously, for the last few, I want to say the last few hundreds of years, no, the last few years especially, that everything has been moving online, and even that businesses that were traditionally giants like Toys R Us or Blockbuster, when they failed to move online, when they failed to actually move along with society and the way how society is being served today, they got, they broke down, they're bust, right? So they're gone. So the very important thing to always keep in mind is that you have to be adaptive, and the trends were very clear that you want to go online. And then obviously looking at the different predictions from Forbes, where it says like number of viewers online growing, the number of video viewers growing as well, the number of users on social platforms, or now even more as well on messaging platforms, it's just ever growing. So that is one thing why obviously we saw, and a lot of other people saw, that being online is the thing. But to give a more general tip for your audience is that you want to be where the people are. So today, maybe we are what we call online, but who knows, maybe in a few years' time, there's something that is no longer called online, but it is inline, because it's part of our thought, and we're connecting with our thoughts, right? If that is where then we are going, then you shouldn't be online, but you should be there, right? The key always is that because the core of entrepreneurship is serving people, you want to be where the people are. So just look at the trends, see wherever people are going, so that you can be there too and serve them, and therefore get business from it also.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is true actually. Now, we are not talking about just any specific format. We are talking about, as a business, be close to the audience, understand what is their needs, and make sure to serve it, whether it is, in retail store, online or inline, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've seen the kind of satisfaction we have, because you're my inspiration, as I kind of mentioned so many times in so many platforms. For me to actually say this, hey, I touched up on more than 300, 400,000 people since I started, but before that I had no clue, and I was never ever into Facebook. I mean, going live is a very, very long way. So I used to kind of stay away from Facebook, except for the fact that, I used to put the photos here and there. So now I have the greatest satisfaction, feeling that, yes, I touched upon at least so many lives. So do you have any suggestion on where do they start, really? Because it's an uncomfortable journey for me, for sure. Because especially, coming from that kind of a private person getting into this. So do you have any tips where they actually start their online journey, even be it an impact or as an online business?
Yeah, so it's very funny that you would say that, because I had the same thing. I didn't even create a Facebook account. It was my sister and my dad created a Facebook account for me, and I was like, okay, I'll go there, and like really making fun of it. And I know I don't like to be on Facebook and stuff like that. But actually, it comes back to that same point again, is that if you wanna go into business, or you want to make impact, like the most important thing is people, is the people that you wish to serve, not you. So the earlier on in your journey, where you can say, okay, even though I might not necessarily be the type of person that likes to put my whole life on social media, I do notice that I can help people. And because of that, I'll put my own discomfort and ego aside, and I actually be in service of other people. Therefore, I will make this post, even though I'm not like the person to take selfies all day long. I'll just take a selfie, I'll put a quote up and say something motivational, because I know that it might touch a heart. And even if it just touched one heart, you can brighten someone's day, then that's enough for me. So having that type of mindset, by understanding that you're doing this for others, you're having like a bigger vision. And it doesn't matter whether you do something as large as you are doing, right? Touching hundreds of thousands of people, or whether you're just touching one heart. At the end of the day, the core of it isn't different. You want to help people. This is one thing that we always share as well, is that if you're not appreciative of the one life that you changed, you're not worthy of the millions of viewers, right? So you should care about that just one person. So anybody who's watching right now, who feels like, okay, how do I start? I would say just make that one post, and that if you can put an inspiring quote or just something that puts a smile on someone's face, or something maybe from like a learning from your perspective that can help someone in whatever shape or form, then that's a good start. And then once you do that, a lot of the time, and when this is what I see with our students as well, is that they do something like that, a bit uncomfortable. They're like, oh, okay, I'll put my picture there and I'll put a quote or whatever. And then all of a sudden they start seeing the comments, and people commenting things like, oh, thank you so much. I really need to hear this right now. I've had that comment so often. You've had that comment so often. So many of our students have. And then they're like, oh, wow, I never expected something like that to happen. Like, this is just a simple quote. How could that have had so much impact? So that a lot of the time we don't even have any clue of the impact that we can make by just sharing something positive. And so that then often becomes such a strong driver for people to think, oh, well, if my post today had such an impact, let's do another one tomorrow. Or you don't have to go crazy. Maybe you just do 3 posts a week. And by that, you start building the momentum. And naturally, what you will see is that you start to enjoy it more because of the comments, or just because of, the fact that it's nice to put a picture up or to put something up and to just like, oh, how many likes do I have, right? Like the whole gamification aspect of it. But then the more consistent you'll stay, and the more you always keep focusing on what helps people, what is serving people, and also start learning from the type of content. Maybe one day I put a content piece on which is about cooking, and then I see, oh, nobody is actually responding to that. Maybe my audience is not as interested in cooking today, so let's just see if I can try other things as well. And then maybe, let's say a few months down the line, I try cooking again, then all of a sudden see, oh yes, there is an audience for that. And then you go along with it, like you learn as you go. Then you'll see that forms a very strong foundation for you to be able to go into business. And this anyone can do today. So I would just say, make a post today. And yeah, that's the best start.
I tell you, come on, pick up all your audience, just pick up your mobile, put here and do that post. Whatever is there in your heart, just do that, because this is exactly what Tjibaria has told me, and I did it. And today, it's less than a year. In fact, I'm able to tell you people that I've touched more than 400,000 people. And it is all because of you and Master Shri Akashna. So I want you guys to actually comment below saying that you went live, and your comment alone could change someone else's life. So comment below the moment you make one post, and that can be an inspiration for somebody else, because somebody is waiting to hear your message. So
absolutely.
This is how it actually starts, with that one post. But Tjibaria, I just want to ask one thing, right? If there is one single thing, without fail, if people have to do to have online as their future, if they're looking into online as their future, because there is no other future as much as we see right now, can you give one last advice where they need to start, or maybe without that then they can never be successful in online arena?
Yeah, it might actually be the thing that I already said. Like the biggest thing really is to connect with others, and to learn how to connect more efficiently and more effectively, every single time. Because at the end of the day, if you, let's say, if you want to make more money so that you can do more good, you can, help your family, you can build a life where you don't have to worry about the bills, and you can focus your time and energy towards doing good things, good projects like Rajesh is doing with his time, then money needs to come in. And basically, if you do this process of reverse engineering, if you want money to come in, obviously there needs to be value. So you need to establish what is the value that you can bring to people. And you need to be able to communicate effectively so that people end up purchasing from you. And you then give them an amazing experience, you give them an amazing product or service, and allow them to evolve or go to whatever next level because of whatever it is that you have offered. But both of them, whether it is determining what your value is and how to communicate effectively and sell, basically, and market, to do any of these things, you need to communicate with people, because that's how you learn. That's how you see what value can you bring. That's how you see, how do I communicate? So it always comes back down to the same principle, and especially like how you say this question online is be online, be with the people, communicate, add value. And in that process, you will figure those two things out. You'll figure out what is it that you can offer, and what is it that you, like, how is it that you should communicate that. And if anyone has any questions about this, just reach out to Rajesh. He is an excellent communicator. He's an excellent, how you say, like, person who knows how to bring people from A to B. He has trained a lot of people. I'm very, very blessed to work with him as well, making an impact all around the world together. So I'm super, super passionate about that. So if anyone has any questions about this, just reach out to Rajesh, comment below, send him a message. Because he'll be able to put you forward in the right way, in the right direction. Because we've been able to serve a lot of people, and Rajesh definitely knows how to make it easy and to allow you specifically to get the right guidance as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for all your kind words, Tjibaria. And I also know, another thing, that you actually run free challenges, right? For people to first get the awareness so that they understand what is happening is a reality, right? I know that you run the challenges which are for 5 or 7 days, right? Is there any, and then that's for free, isn't it?
Yeah, that's for free. Yes.
Is there any upcoming challenge where the audience can actually get connected and at least get that awareness to, for them to understand whether the journey is accurate for them or not?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think you will have a link. So what I would say is, for the audience, whoever is interested to go on this journey and to actually go be part of our Freedom Lifestyle Challenge. It is a 7-day challenge, and it's not like 7 full days. It's only like 1 to 2 hours per day. It's online, so it's free of charge. It's very easy. Anybody can just connect, through their phone or through their laptop, and then you'll be able to see, like, we basically set up a system to allow people to very quickly see how, based on their own unique skills, knowledge, and passions, they could step into this online world, and in a most cost-effective way. And what that means is, like, you don't pretty much have no cost, how you can help people and make money prior to putting any money out, pretty much. So that's what this Freedom Lifestyle Challenge is about. And Rajesh will have a link in the description or somewhere around this video where you can click on, you can check it out. And if it resonates with you, you can sign up for free. And then we're looking forward to see you at our next challenge.
Wow, that's an amazing gift, Tjibaria. Actually, I want all the audience to really understand the power of it. And she said, for 7 days, you will never see any program for 7 days continuously. When we are saying about 1 to 2 hours every day, I've not seen anything. I know almost all the personality development programs, but this one, again, you don't need to pay anybody anything. There is a person who is saying, I'm going to help you out to make you understand what is on the other side. After that, it is up to you to kind of decide. So all the links are going to be there in the description. Make sure to click and start your journey of impacting people, and also see how you can make money. And only thing I can say is, world needs people like you.
Yeah.
And Tjibaria always tells one quote from Steve Jobs. I mean, why did you say that, Tjibaria? I love that.
The people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones that do, or are usually the ones that do. Yeah, because why I find it so beautiful is because a lot of the time, especially when you're doing something that is different from society or different from most people around you, which like entrepreneurship is, right? It's the path that most people don't do, right? That people around you may think, oh, you're crazy. You're like, what makes you think you can start a business, right? Yeah, I don't have the qualifications. I don't have a huge budget. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too whatever, too alien, right? It's feeling like, oh, there's so many different reasons why I couldn't do it. But then Steve Jobs says those people that think they are crazy, that think that they can change the world, are usually the ones that do. So if you feel crazy in any way, or you feel that you have such a big passion or such a wonderful dream and vision of the future, and you feel like, whoa, this is amazing and I wish to achieve that, not just for myself but also for my loved ones and helping people, then that is good. That's a really good thing. And then there is a lot of positive reason for you to pursue that. Don't just keep it under the rug. No, go for it. And I'm not saying that you should quit your job like what I did, or like just like stop it straight away, but you can develop a freedom lifestyle by having something on the side. Like you can still run your job or do whatever it is that you do, and then start building this from the side. And as you see that it's making impact, you see it's making money, and it's actually starting to kind of become bigger than your job, then at that point you can say, oh well, actually, bye. And then you just focus on this alone, right? So you don't have to do it drastically. You can if you want, like I did it, obviously. But yeah, it's up to you. But definitely don't neglect what you feel as a calling inside, because it matters. You matter.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you what, in 2 minutes you gave the roadmap already. So you don't need to quit, people. It is all about starting the journey, and try to understand, if you're inspired by any 1 inch beyond your mind size right now because of this video, you're not crazy. Just like, look at a woman who actually kind of achieved so much, becoming much bigger than what she is in just 5 years. Is possible, and online is there. So if you are really inspired, don't think you're crazy and start there. And Tjibaria, thank you so much for your time. It has been really great pleasure for me and the audience to have your experience and understand your journey, and also a lot of insights about the online business. I said thank you so much for your presence, and it is really, really powerful. And I want to say thank you so much. And
thank you. I just want to say a big thank you to you for everything that you do, for all the impact that you're making, for the great leader and example that you are, because you lead by example. Just for the audience, like I've known Rajesh almost for a year now, and whenever he does something or he commits to something, he commits from the heart, and he give it his all. That's why I really say, if there's anyone in here watching this that feels like, oh, I'm not quite sure just yet, just keep on following Rajesh, because his energy is contagious, his advice is wonderful and strong, and he's actually living, like he's walking the talk, right? He's not just talking the talk, he's walking the talk. And I just feel very grateful to have met you, to work with you, and to be part and to be invited on this video and on this series. So yeah, thank you so much for having me on the series.
And all you people, if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and don't delay to make sure be on the journey, and comment below what is your biggest takeaway. And I will see you people in the next episode with another amazing person. Till then, we say bye-bye.
Bye.